In the lead up to this year's Elimination Chamber, The Rock made a last-minute announced appearance on an episode of SmackDown in New Orleans to make an announcement of his own. WrestleMania 42 was coming to New Orleans in 2026. However, in a rather unprecedented move, it's now being reported that New Orleans is no longer the host of WrestleMania 42. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics was the first to break this story, reporting that they'd received a statement from the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation that said Mania 42 would no longer take place in the city. According to WrestleNomics, the statement from the foundation was a joint one between themselves and WWE. And Sean Rossap of Fightful Select reported that WWE themselves confirmed this to him. Thurston adds the reason for the apparent change in plans for next year's WrestleMania location are unclear. Dave Meltzer noted via Twitter that the deal was finalized, but WWE informed New Orleans this morning, May 22nd, they were pulling out. However, one would assume that the relationship between TKO and New Orleans hasn't been soured, as the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation confirmed to WrestleNomics that not only will they host WrestleMania in a future year, they'll also host next year's Money in the Bank as part of a multi-year deal that also includes this July's UFC 318. Several other outlets confirmed this news, and Fightful Select reported that this is part of a larger deal. They add in a separate report, we're told this regime has been much more apt to waiting to announce any number of shows and are open to changes if the revenue generated is a significant increase, which would seem to indicate that the reason WrestleMania was moved from New Orleans is because someone was offering more money to host it. So, where will WrestleMania go now? Shortly after the news came out and speculation began to run wild across the internet about where Mania 42 might land, NOLA.com put up an article that said WrestleMania 42 would return to Las Vegas, the home of this year's WrestleMania. WrestleNomics updated their report with the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, which played a key role in bringing the 2025 event to the city, didn't immediately respond to our message seeking confirmation. Fightful Select added in a separate report someone formerly connected to WWE also intimated to them that Vegas would be the home of WrestleMania 42.
We're going back to Vegas, as all indications point that WrestleMania is moving from New Orleans now to Las Vegas. And why are they making the move? Because of money. Because of dirty, filthy fucking money. Now, of course, I am a capitalist. I appreciate the opportunity to make more money. And I appreciate that WWE is publicly traded and that they have that fiduciary duty, as Eric Bischoff always says, to its shareholders to make the most monies for the company. And especially with TKO running shit now, they're extra greedy, even more than WWE was previously. But I don't agree with just pulling out of shows when you've already signed and announced the deal. You could go back to Vegas another year. You could go back to Vegas next year if they want to spend a whole bunch of money on stuff. The paperwork was already signed with New Orleans. They already made the deal, and now they're pulling out of the deal, or they were able to renegotiate the deal perhaps, as it sounds like they're saying, hey, we'll still give you a WrestleMania sometime probably, and we'll give you a Money in the Bank. How's Money in the Bank? We'll give you one of those. But this is a problem. WWE can't do that. And here's why. I mean, obviously they can do that. They did. But, you know, it affects more than just them. First of all, New Orleans had this now in their events budget or their event schedule and all of that. They plan this shit out years in advance, just like WWE plans shit out a year or so in advance. Right? They have to try to fill their event schedule and find things that are going to bring money in to the New Orleans area. And not only that, but it's a bad look. How can they even trust that the deal that they signed with WWE is going to hold up when WWE just pulls out of it? On top of that, there are third parties that participate in WrestleMania weekend. Other wrestling promotions try to book up venues well in advance. As soon as something's announced, they are on the horn trying to get venues booked for their shows. And fucking convention rooms and halls for autograph signings. and for live podcasts and for all of it. I mean, it's a big deal. Hotel rooms, people book flights. I mean, there's a lot going on besides WWE just deciding they want more money for something. They're fucking a lot of people. And our reports already that there were people that signed and put a deposit down, signed a contract or whatever to be in New Orleans for that weekend for their convention events or their indie shows or whatever. And now they're going to have to find a way to break that contract, which is likely going to cost them monies, which indie promotions and convention promoters and stuff don't really have a lot of liquid money, right? They don't just have money to blow to break a fucking lease in a contract. It's just bad business. So I fully get and understand going to the highest bidder. You know, WWE gets site fees now for these big events, which is these cities are paying WWE to come to their city because it brings business. All the local restaurants, all the local hotels, the convention centers, the fucking nightclubs, everywhere. All of these, the money that comes into town, just, you know, people stopping at the fucking gas station on the way to the venue. All the businesses in town make lots of monies off of big things that bring in millions, or not millions, but hundreds of thousands of people perhaps. I mean, look at the WrestleMania show itself. It's going to have 60, 70,000 people at it. Not to mention all the independent wrestlers that come to town to participate in the indie shows that are there, and all the legends and the indie stars and stuff that are going booked to do conventions. I mean, there's easily 100,000 people, more than that probably, that show up to whatever city that that WrestleMania is being held at to bring their business there. So it's a big deal. And so these cities bid on it. And I have no issues with WWE going with the highest bidder. I do have issues with them suddenly going, well, we signed this deal, but hey, wait, no. Now Vegas really, really liked what the business we did for them this year. So now they're offering even more, and they've outbid you, even though you've already outbid everybody else that was in the running for WrestleMania 42. And we respect and appreciate you for that. But now Vegas has come in with a higher offer. So go fuck yourself. It's just bad business, and Money in the Bank isn't the make good for that. In a future WrestleMania, what does that even matter? What if somebody else comes in and outbids them again? Clearly, they're not happy enough with that bid that New Orleans did, so they're going to have to, what? Are they going to take another higher offer? It's just, I don't know. It's bad business. That's just my take on it, at least. I mean, you know, it fucks over a lot of people. It really does, in the interest of greed. And like I said, I'm a capitalist. I appreciate greed to a certain extent. But when you start pulling out of deals that you've signed and fucking over other people that are trying to make money off of this, you know, event being in New Orleans as well, it's just a bad look. It's a bad look. But I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about WrestleMania going back to Vegas this year, both from the standpoint of, are you happy that it's going to be in Vegas again? By all accounts, that was a wonderful show. I wasn't there. But, you know, as far as like the strip and everything kind of being there in one spot for everybody to just kind of hop around and walk down the strip to the next event, logistically, the whole city is built for people to come in and enjoy events like that. So what do you know, from a logistics standpoint, from just the city of it, how do you feel? And then how do you feel about the business side of it, of kind of sticking it to New Orleans there because they were outbid and potentially fucking people that have already put in their down payments and deposits or signed contracts to get into venues in the New Orleans area that now have to find a way out of those contracts. Let me know down in those comments below. Peace, love, pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we'll catch you in the next video. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Seth Grimes. Thanks for checking out that video. If you want to watch more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Like the video while you're there if you liked it. And leave a comment. If you got something to say it.